Hey, and I'm live. Fantastic. I've got a slightly different audio set up today, so I'm just going to have a listen to myself by going over to the Twitter stream. Seems to be the only way that I can do it. Those of you who've just arrived, make yourselves comfortable. Grab a biscuit or a pint. Floats your boat. Audio. Well, need to talk. Oh, that's all right. Very good. Oh, hey, both of you. Nice to see you both here. Oi. Is Waiting for Felix Trench the sequel to Waiting for Godot? I think the sequel to Waiting for Godot is Act 2, isn't it? It's in 2 acts. And what is it they say about the play? Nothing happens twice? Now, I need to pull up. I've done something a little odd today. I'm using my phone microphone, which is why I sound a bit more hollow than usual, because my my proper mic kit is upstairs being a studio, because I've got some voiceover stuff coming up, and it was too much to lug around. And also, I found, like, I'll show you. I found this. It's a paper holder, and I'm using it to pin my phone to my computer, where you would expect a webcam to be. So I've actually got a proper webcam, which is, as regulars know, pretty exciting. But it does mean that, let me see if I can figure it out, that this area here that I'm tracing, so that much of the screen is inaccessible to me because there's a phone in the way. Hey, it's a choice, why not? Hello, Steve. Hey, folks, why don't you go get yourselves signed up over at tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610. That's tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610610, because it is the 6th of October. Welcome to this first quiz of October, the most autumnal month, I think. It's the one we all think about. It's the one that certainly 2/3 of all Stranger Things series have gone out on. And then the third one, of course, went out in the summer. Hello, 7 Minutes in Devon. Hello, Scary Elvis. Or are we going to have some Halloween names? Is that the form? Or was it too early for that? Hello, Troublers, and Sweet Sweet Human Chocolate Mousse. I think possibly not too early. I'm going to make sure that my window is low enough that I can read it. Ah, there we go. So go get signed up, folks. That's all I need from you right now, is to go to tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610. That's tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610. Sign up your team name there, FT, because that's me, Felix Trench, 610, because it is the 6th of October. A few new people joining in the chat. Hello, Hannah Wallace. Howdy yourself. Eileen has just joined us and has to run a few errands, so is probably taking the quiz on the road. Is this the first quiz road trip? I cannot condone quizzing and driving unless I am a voice coming at you from the radio. Hello 19 says, I always forget the Excel sheet address. Can you say it again, please? Of course I can. tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610. Thank you, Steve. There, if you want to drop a couple of coins, in the quiz jar. That's over at ko-fi.com/Felix Trench. I would normally go around a normal pub and ask for £2 per player, and I think that's fair enough. So you can do that at ko-fi.com/Felix Trench. Eileen, this road trip is exciting. Where are you road tripping to? Tell us more about these errands. Are they errands? I think of errands. What do I think of when people talk about errands? When people say I need to run a few errands, I think of the post office, and also weirdly, like going to a gardening centre. I think of as an errand. I need to go to B&Q or whatever the local equivalent is and buy a bag of earth. I think of that as errands work, and buying milk. tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610, folks. A couple more of you now joined us. Hello, trying our best and happy to be spooky. Hello. Looks like we're going to have a month of these. Delightful. Whiskey is the soup of the day. Sweet human chocolate mousse say to watch out for the chalky undertaste. Well, quite. Because it's bones! That's why. Because chalk is made from shell, which is a bit like bones. Anne was tuning into the quiz from the road last week. Is that a thing now? Is everyone just driving with the quiz? Driving with the quiz. 22 minutes until we start, everyone. 22 minutes until this quiz begins at 7:30 precisely. Hey, I've left Paris. Last time I was talking to you, I was in my garret flat in Paris. Now, regulars might recognize this backdrop. It is a house in the southeast of England, where at the minute I am quarantining. If you enter the UK from any other country, you have to stay in one house without leaving it for 14 days. I am on day 6 now. Tomorrow marks the halfway point. I'm lucky here. I have a bit of a garden, so I can go out there, and if it's not absolutely wrecking it down, I go out and put on a hoodie or something and have my coffee. And there's space, so it could be a much worse place to quarantine. I tell you what, I am excited. I ordered some posh coffee from the local town. I ordered that online. I went and had a look and went coffee roasters this place, and just to find out if there was one, and there was, and it was pretty cheap. So there's the coffee in this kitchen is a little bitter, if I'm entirely honest. So, being a snob, I've gone and bought some coffee online. But I'm looking forward to that, partly because I get nice coffee, hopefully, it might be awful, and partly because that's an event. And the thing about quarantine, there are no events. It's just a long, unbroken stream of occasional Zoom calls or phone calls or whatever, but an event. It's very exciting. Meg Plant also just bought fancy coffee. Meg, tell us all about your fancy coffee. What was the grind? Where's it from? Does it have a good name? Does it talk of? I like when coffees advertise themselves like they're wines, and they talk about notes of burnt chocolate and cork and all the rest of it. We'll get going in 19 minutes, everyone. 19 minutes until this quiz begins at 7:30 on the dot UK time. A couple more teams now trickling in. Hello, La Traviata, and hello, Gay Depression Club. I hope you're all right. Is that a spooky name? We'll get going at 1:30 exactly, Faust. But for now, I just called you Faust instead of folks. Well, I'll own it. 1:30 exactly, Faust. Head on over to tiny.cc/ftpubquiz610. Eileen won a wine tasting tour from a raffle for Relay for Lice, which is, I almost said Relay for Lice. Relay for Lice. Let's do it for the knits. It's not a knit society. It's an American Cancer Society. Well, brilliant for doing that. Well done. And they need me to pick up the. Oh, I see. This is the errands. So Eileen is off to pick up the certificate, and they did the relay virtually this year. How did that work? Tell us more. I don't understand how you do a virtual relay. Is there a baton that you just kind of, maybe you mime a baton and then kind of pick it through the screen and I don't know, jump on imaginary hurdles? I think I'm mixing up relay races and hurdles there. Meg Bart says that she has an espresso machine, so it's ground for espresso. It's roasted locally, but grown in Ethiopia. That seems to be the fashion, not the fashion. Well, yes, the fashion, but in the old sense of fashion. The mode, the way of doing it, that you buy from a country that can produce coffee. Countries that do not include the UK or Canada, which I learned recently are on the same latitude. There's a Twitter account that I follow that I love. It's called Amazing Maps. I love Amazing Maps, and I also love Terrible Maps. But Amazing Maps was showing you the countries that that North and South America are on the same latitudes as. Fascinating to look at. And it sort of made a lot of sense to me that we are up in the kind of Canadian area, even though we think of Canada as a lot colder. I mean, we have different winds and things here. More on this coffee. The cup profile is light body, notes of plum, dark chocolate, molasses, and dates. Yes, all of those absolutely ring bells with me in what I've read on the back of coffee packets. It's always plum, it's always molasses, it's always dates. Not foods that I think I have on a very regular basis, unless it's through the medium of coffee, I guess. Hello, Romali. I am doing well. I hope you are also doing well. I remembered to have supper before the quiz. It was very basic. It was a very basic tuna pasta, but from a new YouTube channel I'm obsessed with, which is Vincenzo's Plate. Yes, Vincenzo's Plate, and he's an Italian chef who does like reaction videos to other recipes online, and I found him through, he was kind of going through all these different carbonara recipes, and I've been looking at his other recipes. He's very simple, which I like. I like a simple recipe. Anyway, I recommend his tuna pasta, and I happily had capers here, although no rocket, so it had to be rocketless. 15 minutes until we start, folks. 15 minutes. Make sure you've signed up over at tiny.cc/ftpubquiz 610. Whiskey is the soup of the day have changed their name to Whiskey is the soup of the day. Very good. And welcome, Cheese Frog. Cheese Frog, is there a story behind your name, or is it that you enjoy the sound of both of those words? Tell me more, Cheese Frog. We'll get going at past exactly, everyone. 30 minutes past the hour is when this quiz begins. If you are in a time zone that is staggered to mine by 1 hour. If you are in a time zone that is staggered by half an hour, then it starts on the hour. But I don't think we have anyone in one of the. Do tell me if you are, though. If you're in like GMT plus 4.5, I'd be fascinated to learn more. I don't know how much more there is to learn. I suppose, where are you and why? And why are you and why are you there? We'll get going in 15 minutes, everyone. 14 now. 7:30, this quiz begins. You will need pen, you will need paper, you will need your brain, and maybe someone else's brain to pick, to open up and take out all the delicious facts and knowledge and ate them up and then write them down now that you've absorbed them into your brain. Assuming you're the person who's doing the writing. If not, then get ready to have your brain eaten. Hello19 says, I've used Cheese Frog as it's our usual quiz team name for me and Rachel Lloyd. Oh, very good. You've brought in a classic name. I think it was because I collected frogs and she got a cheese head from Cheese and Broccoli Bake at pub. She got a cheese head, as in, is that like brain freeze, but for cheese? We always use that in the real world, but never here for some reason. Yeah, no, I mean, fair enough. Internet pub quizzes are a time for reinvention. That's what I've always said. We'll get going in 13 minutes. Everyone, 13 minutes until we start. I was in 2 regular quiz teams in my life. One was we were called Huey Lewis and the News after the band, obviously, and we were regulars. That was up in Edinburgh at the Pear Tree pub, where a man called Dave does the quiz. And then later on, when I first moved to London for a little while, I was in a regular team called the Dr. Watson Appreciation Society, because we thought Dr. Watson had been overlooked in some slight. I can't remember it. And if I'm honest, I think it was to get back at the quizmaster. We were a slightly rowdy team when we thought we were right. Hello19 thinks a cheese head is like a migraine head from dairy. Oh, I see. Right. Yes. No, I see. I didn't know that dairy was a common migraine trigger, being a very fortunate person who is blessed with not having to deal with that. And Weaver thinks of Cheesehead as a fan of the Green Bay Packers, which is an American football team, I think. Is that right? Or ice hockey, or one of the American sports. Presumably that's your nickname. Yes, it's an American football team. Got it in too. 10 minutes, folks. 10 minutes until this quiz begins. Gosh, not many of you, but only the best ones. So thank you, the best ones, for turning up. And boo to the rest. I mean, normally people start to trickle in sort of on the half hour, so I'm sure we're fine. Hey, folks, the mic, as I said earlier, the microphone that I'm using today is just the internal one on my phone microphone. So if at any point I get too quiet for you, do tell me to shout. And similarly, if I'm too loud, tell me to shut up, and I'll regulate. I was once referred to as a very dynamic person, and dynamic has a very specific meaning in the audio world. It has to do with dynamic range, which is how quiet and loud something is, and I do have a tendency to waver between the two without spending an awful lot of time in the old middle ground. So do tell me if I need to regulate my dynamism. 10 minutes till we start, everyone. 10 minutes. Blue19 has has invited the rest of their uni group. I'm not sure they're free. Only 6 of those in the whole university. And Megan edited some of the work I do down to a 200 version long of me saying the word Chapman, which we all enjoyed listening to very much when we were recording a retrospective thing. Hlu19 says, Dano tells me the cheese in Cheese Frog is because we are obsessed with the cheese board as a dessert. Quite bloody right. Now, I heard, and I don't know, did I get this from a film Did I get this from telly? Did I read it in a book? Or maybe a magazine, maybe the Beano, that a cheese board is one runny, one hard, one blue. But I don't know if that's, because I think when you're in like a cheese country, they don't actually do that. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I feel like people go, it's more like a wine, and you go, hey, have a bit of this one, and that's it. I've definitely done that. I've definitely ordered the cheese that I'll have afterwards. I don't know. Have I? Am I inventing that? Maybe I'm inventing that. Maybe I'm inventing memories. You can do that, you know. You can invent memories. It's very exciting. Don't like your memories? Get some new ones. Pop. And Weaver says, my cheese boards are just, here are some cheeses I like, and quite right too. I think that's quite a treat, actually, to say to people, here are things that I like, rather than worrying too much on trying to please everyone. I think it's quite important to say this is what I believe is good, because what else is art? Well, pointless, of course, as we all learned from the British Chancellor of the Exchequer today. We all need to go and get proper jobs. Hello19 is not sure of the correct composition of a cheese board. Dano says, we never got the cheese board at the pub quiz pub. Oh, controversial. We just dreamt of the day we would live the dream. That's I think you should remedy that. Go back to that pub and get the cheese board. 7 minutes till this quiz begins, folks. 7 minutes till this quiz begins, and if you've just tuned in, we're talking about cheese boards. What was your favorite cheese board? What do you put on a cheese board? Let us know in the usual number. I jest, I joke that I'm a genuine radio host. I am nothing of the sort. I'm a cod host. I love a cheese. Oh, I tell you what, folks. Now look this up. There is a cheese called Cirone. It's Swiss. C-I-R-O-N-E with an accent. Cirone. It's like a Cantal, a Sancerre, or a stronger Comté. I mean, it's stronger than all those. And back in the olden days, before we took our pub quizzes online, and you could find a stranger in the street and hold them and tell them you loved them. Back in that time, I would go to the market. I'd go to Borough Market in London, and I'd buy a small amount of Cirone, and I'd eat it luxuriously in front of an explosion inside. I miss that. Oh, I miss Cirone. Rachel confirmed that you never got the cheese board. Well, something to look forward to. Anne Weaver's best cheese she ever had was called Basque, the Basque country up in the Pyrenees. Now I associate Pyrenean cheeses rather, with sheep, with brubby. Was it a brubby? And also there's a lot of goat cheeses up that sort of way. Or you can also get very nice half and halves, half brubby, half cow, or half brubby, half goat. That's the one. Was it what now? Brubby, sheep. Yes, sheep cheese, brubby. That's the one. They're very nice. Hello, fatigued hamsters. That's a lovely image. Hello, fatigued hamsters. Thank you for joining us. We'll get going in 4 minutes, everyone. 4 minutes until this quiz begins. 4 minutes until this quiz begins. Rachel Lloyd's dad was a sales rep and used to deal with the cheese company and bring home lots of interesting cheeses. What a wonderful dad! How brilliant to have a mixed selection of cheeses. I tell you, I will normally eat anything, and I'll certainly try anything, but I tell you what I can't really get on board with is cheeses with fruit in them. It seems to be a particular affliction of this country that that someone somewhere in, I don't know, like Samuel Pepys' time went, you know what would be great in a cheese? Apricot. I'm sure it brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, but I've yet to have a version of that. Or cranberries you get as well in cheese. Or what's that? Sage? There's a sage something, isn't there? And all of those I seem to be making up for a lack of flavor in the actual cheese. But perhaps I'm being cruel, and perhaps I've only eaten bad versions of those cheeses, which is very possible because you see them in supermarkets and so on. Hannah Wallace says, all this cheese talk and all I have is Kraft dinner. Is that the same as Kraft mac and cheese? I've heard of this. Has that been colloquially shortened to Kraft dinner? 3 minutes till we start, folks. 3 minutes until we start this quiz. Make sure that you have a way of answering it, be that a pen and paper, be that a text document, or be that a stenographer, or a carving that you've yet to make. Anything like that will do. Yes, Kraft mac and cheese is Kraft dinner. I've learned something, or well, I clearly must have known that, so I've solidified that knowledge, like doing level 2 on a Duolingo class. I've level 2 Duolingoed American food idioms, and I'm happy to do so. We'll get going in 2 minutes. Everyone, you know, there's this restaurant in London called the Swan, which is part of the Globe Theatre, the recreation of Shakespeare's Globe. And I've never eaten there, but they used to do so that people like me who can't afford to go to the Swan could get something to eat. What they used to do is they'd do 3 posh mac and cheeses. So you could go there and get like mac and cheese with Stilton or Taleggio or whatever. Or Stitchelton. Have you come across Stitchelton? Now I was looking up Stitchelton today, this week. So did I put in a question about Stitchelton, or can I talk about it? I don't think I did. No, I didn't, because it was too arcane. Some of you may remember from a long time ago a question that Stilton cannot be produced in the village of Stilton, but there is a cheese that can be produced there called Stitchelton. It's not. It's actually produced in Nottinghamshire, which uses the old name of Stilton, Stitchelton, the old English name. And it's the same as Stilton, but it uses unpasteurized milk, and they sell that in the market near this one. And that is 7:30, folks. 7:30. Good evening, all of you lovely people. Welcome to this quiz. Get your pen, get your paper. Here we go. It's question 1. This is question 1. Oh, I forgot to do the rules. Rule 1, no more than 6 people to a team. Rule 2, I'm always right. Rule 3, no cheating, which means no Googling. Cool. Question 1, give me an example of a lagomorph. 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 A lagomorph. What's a lagomorph? Just tell me an example of something that is a lagomorph. That is question 1. Excuse me. Question 1. Give me any example of a lagomorph. Lagomorp. That's question 1. Question 2 now. Question 2 is science. Science. Is honey acidic, alkaline, or neutral? Usually, on average. I'm sure there are exceptions. But on average, is honey acidic, alkaline, or neutral? That is question 2. Bookham Dano tells us that Stitch Walton was their favourite centre-back on their football team. He was a professional footballer. He always complained he was out of breath, and so you called him Stitch. Was that like commonly used? Were you all like, Stitch, pass the ball, Stitch? I assume you went into slightly London football voice, as you do. Oh, Stitch passes the ball. Or was that like, we'll call you Stitch, and then never did? I think that's really funny. Come on, Stitch. Is honey acidic, alkaline, or neutral? Question three. Is television? This is television. Television, the television program in question is the weather forecast. The world's first televised weather forecast, including a weather map, was broadcast on which TV network? The world's first TV broadcasted weather forecast, which used a weather map on screen, was broadcast by which TV network? I can't find an example of one before this, but just to be sure, I'm including the weather map detail. The world's first weather forecast, including a weather map, was broadcast on which TV network? Midlands football voice, I beg its pardon, not London. His name was chanted from the terraces. Stitch, Stitch. That's really funny. I hope he was okay with it. I hope he was happy about it. Hello, extremely menacing Duolingo owl, and hello, memoirs of a well-travelled house mouse. Are you well-travelled? Where have you been travelling? Question three, I'm asking you the TV network, the first broadcast a weather forecast, including a weather map. Question four is geography. It's capital cities. What is the capital city of Iceland? Iceland when it's the country, Iceland when it's the supermarket, or vice versa? I don't know now. Words have lost all meaning. What's the capital of Iceland? Iceland. What is the capital of Iceland? Iceland. Ikeland. What's the capital of Iceland? Iceland, I think. What do you say? That's not the question. I'm asking for the capital. Capital city, rather. What's the capital of Iceland? Question four, what is the capital city of Iceland? Question five now. This is question five. This is music. This week marks 25 years since the launch of which indie album, which sold a then record-breaking number of copies in its opening week? Question five, this week marks 25 years since the launch of which indie album, which was at that time a record-breaking album? Question five there. Question five, this week marks 25 years since the launch of which indie album? Someone has added a picture of a Duolingo owl. There he is. Or she, or they, duo, being very violent. So I'm asking you, this week marks 25 years since the launch of which indie album, which sold a then record-breaking number of copies in its opening week? Do we say opening week? Do we say first week? Oh, someone deleted Duo. Goodbye, Duo. Question six. Question six is film. This is film. Film is B-movie, as in B-double-E. What is the name of Jerry Seinfeld's character in B-movie? Question six. What's the name of Jerry Seinfeld's character in B-movie? Bookham Dano says, my favorite chart for an individual player was his name is a shop, his name is a shop. Len or John Lewis, his name is a shop. For people outside the UK who have been following current events recently, over here, John Lewis is a high-end shop, as well as the recently departed person in America. Question 6. What is the name of a Jerry Seinfeld character in Jerry Seinfeld's character in B Movie? That is question 6. I'm asking for the name of Jerry Seinfeld's character, the character played by Jerry Seinfeld in the film B Movie. Question 7. Question 7 is politics. This is politics. Alberto Fernandez is the president of which South American country? This is Alberto Fernandez. Fernandez has a acute grave? Acute accent on the A. Alberto Fernandez is the president of which South American country? Paula tells us that duo is the non-binary icon we need and deserve. Quite right. Question 7. Alberto Fernandez is the president of which South American country? Question 8 is language. Language. That language is English, specifically the English of Canada. In Canadian slang, what is a 2-4? TWO-FOUR. If a Canadian referred to a 2-4, what would they be talking about? Question 8. In Canadian slang, what is a 2-4? Meg asks if I like jazz, or possibly someone else. I like jazz. I don't know much about it. But I have frequently listened to the Amazon playlist Coffee Shop Jazz while working, thanks to my Echo Dot. There's one in this room, so I won't say its name. In Canadian slang, what is a 2-4? TWO-F, like the numbers. Question 8. What is a 2-4 in Canada? Question 9. Question 9 is sport. That sport is lacrosse. Lacrosse. What country has won the World Lacrosse Championship the most frequently? Which country has won the World Lacrosse Championships the most? That is question 9. What country has won the World Lacrosse Championships the most? The other day, I couldn't really think of any questions, so I set myself the challenge of writing 10 questions that day, based around things that started with the letter L. So this is lacrosse, and that's why you had lagomorph earlier. Sorry. What country has won the World Lacrosse Championship the most frequently? Team House Mouse have been doing an in-laws visit, mainly maintaining COVID-safe practices at all times. If you didn't, I'm not the COVID police, but thank you for doing that on behalf of this increasingly laughably referred to as nation. Question 9. What country has won the World Lacrosse Championship the most frequently, please? Question 10. Question 10. This is celebrities. Celebrities. Those celebrities are the Hemsworth brothers. Of the 3 Hemsworth brothers, which was the only one to not play a regular character on the Australian soap opera Neighbours? Of the Hemsworth brothers, which was the only one to not be a regular on Neighbours? That is question 10. Of the Hemsworth brothers, which was the only one to not play a regular on Neighbours? Neighbours, of course, went out on the BBC twice daily until the mid-2000s, before it was discarded and picked up by Channel 5. And presumably also went out on Australian TV, but I'm less familiar with their channels. Of the Hemsworth brothers, which was the only one to not be a regular on Neighbours? Neighbours also is supposedly responsible for quite a significant shift in the language in the UK. in that it was through neighbours that we picked up cheers to mean thank you, and that we started calling each other mate, both of which are now quite sort of like modern southeast expressions. So good on neighbours. Question 11. Stamboul, Stamboul, is an archaic variant of the name of which city? Stamboul, Stamboul, is an archaic variant of the name of which city? Stamboul. Hannah Wallace says, whoa, those are both expressions I associate with the UK. No, those are Aussie. We just took them from them. Stamboul is an archaic variant on the name of which city? That is question 11. Looking for the name of a city which used to sometimes be called Stamboul. In fact, in the English-speaking world, it was more frequently referred to as Istanbul. Question 12 now. Question 12 is your alcohol question. Alcohol. In Born Slippy by Underworld, which is that famous song from the Trainspotting soundtrack, which alcoholic drink is referenced the most? In Underworld's Born Slippy, which alcoholic drink is referenced the most? In Born Slippy, which alcoholic drink is referenced the most? That's the one that starts. Sort of like that. It's quite difficult to sing, unless you're Underworld, in which it's bloody easy because they're very good. In Underworld's Born Slippy, which alcoholic drink is referenced the most? Question 13 is brands. The American sparkling water La Croix was first marketed as a direct competitor to which other sparkling water, which was seen as snobbish in the American market? The American sparkling water La Croix was first marketed as a direct competitor to which other sparkling water which was seen as snobbish? This is question 13. Question 13. The American sparkling water brand La Croix was first marketed as a direct competitor to which other sparkling water which was seen as snobbish? That is question 13. Rachel Lloyd says that's in her head now. Born Slippy or the Neighbours theme? I think Neighbours will think 2020 took effect. I think Born Slippy might be in your head. Or possibly the Neighbours theme is. Everybody needs good neighbours. That's what I say. Question 14. Question 14. This is what my cheese research turned into. Very good. In 2012, this is a food question, a man from Wisconsin sold the world's oldest cheddar. Reportedly, it was delicious. How old was it? I'm going to give you some clues. The age was a multiple of 10, and it was under 100. In 2012, a man from Wisconsin sold the world's oldest cheddar, or as it was. The age was a multiple of 10, and it was under 100. How old was it? He sold it because he just found it at the back of the fridge and had been forgotten about for a while. In 2012, a man from Wisconsin sold the world's oldest cheddar. How old was it? It's a multiple of 10. It's under 100. Hey folks, Meg Plant would like to know how you all feel about sparkling water. Meg is in the anti-camp. I love it. I'm a big sparkling water drinker. Question 14. In 2012, a man from Wisconsin sold the world's oldest cheddar. How old was it? Question 15 now. Question 15 is words for fish. It's a fish question. Pilchard, Pilchard, is a name for what kind of fish? Another name, rather. Pilchard is another name for what kind of fish? I put an extraneous A in the question there. Well, let's get rid of that. Would love something. Question 15. Pilchard is another name for what kind of fish, please? Question 15. Some study says, why would anyone ruin a perfectly good water with bubbles? And Rachel bets that's why you got cheese headache. Oh, anti-sparkling. There's a lot of sparkling water hatred in the chat. I'm sorry to hear that you've all had such bad experiences with it. I like a Badwa. I like a San Pellegrino. I tell you what, we had one in Belgium called Spa, which I hated. It really depends on the water. Really depends on the water. Some of them have notes of plum. Some of them tastes like basalt. Basalt, I think. Basilisk. Basil. Question 16. Question 16 is money. It's currency codes, which are almost as good as Yatta codes, but not as good. What is the three-letter currency code, as in USD for US dollars, GBP for Great British pounds, and so on? What is the three-letter currency code for the Botswanan Pula? Botswana is Botswana, Pula, P-U-L-A. What is the three-letter currency code for the Botswanan Pula? This is if you went to a bureau de change and you were looking to sell your Saudi dinar and buy some Botswanan Pula, what would be the three-letter currency code there? Hannah Wallace mentioned last week warm sparkling water experience in Belgium. Yeah, that sounds awful. But Catherine is on my side. I quite agree. It's marvelous stuff. Question 17. Question 17. I like to ask you a question based on where I am. I am in Sussex. Sussex in the southeast of England. So this is a Sussex question. I'm going to be here for a couple of weeks because I'm quarantining, so do your research for next week, folks. The first game of which sport is reported to have been played in Sussex in 1611? The first ever game of which sport, at least on record, is reported to have been played in Sussex in 1611. We are looking for the name of a sport that was reportedly first played in Sussex in 1611. Bookham Dano says, Council Pop should not have bubbles. What is Council Pop, Dano? Pop is another word for a soft drink or a fizzy drink. What is Council Pop? I really like, in Belgium and the Netherlands and Luxembourg, otherwise known as the Benelux countries, you get sparkling iced tea, which is the iced tea that I grew up drinking. And then I discovered that the other countries had flat iced tea, and it was less good than sparkling iced tea. And also that was the normal iced tea, and it was crestfalling. But if you can, go online and buy yourself a lovely can of Benelux sparkling Lipton iced tea. It's the only time you'll ever want to bother with Lipton. Although their tisanes are quite good, but you know, obviously the regular tea is basically swill. But the plain sparkling iced tea, and it'll just be called like plain because that is the regular, is quite the fizzy drink. Question 18. Question 18 is literature. This is literature. Who wrote Madame Bovary? Question 18. Who wrote Madame Bovary? That is question 18. Question 18. Who wrote Madame Bovary? The book. Madame, as in Madame, as in the French for Mrs. And Bovary, Boo, 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 boo. Whoever it was talking about Midlands has got me saying that. Boo. B-O-V-A-R-Y. Question 18. Who wrote Madame Bovary, please? That is question 18. Swashbuckling Archer has to read that this year for school. It's good. You'll enjoy it. And you presumably know the answer then. Question 18. Who wrote Madame Bovary? Unless you've not read it yet, then I guess that you've not been looking at the author name every day of your life. Why should you? Question 19. Question 19 is music. Music. The music of Lou Reed. Which Lou Reed album, so this is Lou Reed when he was a solo act after the Velvet Underground, which Lou Reed album included both Walk on the Wild Side and Perfect Day? Which Lou Reed album, what was the name of the album by Lou Reed which included both Walk on the Wild Side and Perfect Day? That is our penultimate question of round one. Which Lou Reed solo album included both Walk on the Wild Side and Perfect Day? That is question 19. Bookendano says, my grandma used to call tap water council pop. That's great. That's lovely. Cracking grandmotherism there. Water through the mains was still unusual in her youth. Not sure why pop though. I really enjoyed that. Question 19. Which Lou Reed album included both Walk on the Wild Side and Perfect Day, please? That is question 19. And question 20, your final question of round one, is your current affairs question. Current affairs of Israel. Israel is set to become the first country to ban trading what? Israel is about to become the first country to ban the trade of what? That is your current affairs question. Question 20. Question 20. Israel is set to become the first country to ban the trade of what? Meg says, Madame Bovary was a book I wrote a paper on, but never read. Classic student trick. Well done. Question 20. Israel is set to become the first country to ban the trade of what? That is question 20. So, folks, that's all of the questions in the first round. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through all of the questions again. I'm going to go them at a bit more of a lick, though, and then we're going to do the answers. I paused there because I enjoyed saying a bit more of a lick, a little too much. That's what happened there. A bit faster, as I would normally say. Hi, I'm Felix. These are my idioms. I'm going at a bit of a lick. I'm going to go through those at a bit of a lick, and then we'll do the answers to round one, and then I'll tell you about the picture round, and then we'll have a little break, and I'll play the music. So, question 1, give me an example of a lagomorph, L-A-G-O-M-O-R-P-H. Question 2, is honey acidic, alkaline, or neutral? Question 3, the world's first TV weather forecast, which included a weather map, was broadcast by which TV network? Question 4, what's the capital of Iceland? Question 5, this week marks 25 years since the launch of which indie album, which in the week that it launched broke records for a number of albums sold. Question 6, what is the name of Jerry Seinfeld's character in the film B-Movie? Question 7, Alberto Fernandez is the president of which South American country? Question 8, in Canadian slang, what is a 2-4? Question 9, what country has won the World Lacrosse Championship the most frequently? Question 10, of the Hemsworth brothers, which was the only one to not be a regular on Neighbours? Question 11, Stambul is an archaic variant on the name of which city? Question 12, in Underworld's Born Slippy, which alcoholic drink is referenced the most? Question 13, the American sparkling water La Croix was first marketed as a direct competitor to which other sparkling water which was seen as snobbish? Question 14, in 2012, a man from Wisconsin sold the world's oldest cheddar. How old was it? It is a multiple of 10, it's under 100. Question 15, pilchard is another name for what kind of fish? Question 16, what is the three-letter currency code for the Botswana Pula, please, P-U-L-A? Question 17, the first game of which sport is recorded to have been played in Sussex in 1611? Question 18, who wrote Madame Bovary? Question 19, which Lou Reed solo album included both Walk on the Wild Side and Perfect Day? And question 20, Israel is set to become the first country to ban the trade of what? That is all the questions. You have got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. That's it. Pens down, everyone. Pens down. Pick up your marking pens. Here come the answers to round 1. Question 1. Give me an example of a lagomorph. Lagomorphs are the animals which include rabbits, hares, or pikas. I didn't know what a pika was. I had to look it up. It's very cute. But rabbit, hare, or pika, I will accept. Question 2. Honey is acidic, believe it or not. Acidic. Question 2, acidic. Question 3, the world's first weather forecast, which included a weather map, was broadcast on the BBC. The BBC. Question 3, BBC. Question 4, the capital of Iceland is Reykjavik. Reykjavik. Question 5, 25 years this week of What's the Story, Morning Glory. That's What's the Story, Morning Glory. Question 6, Jerry Seinfeld's character in B movie is called Barry B. Benson. Barry B. Benson, I'll accept Barry or Mr. Benson. Question 7, Alberto Fernandez is the president of Argentina. Argentina. Question 8, a 2-4 is a 24-pack of beer, or a pack of 24 beers, rather. 2-4 is a pack of 24 beers. Question 9, the country that has won the World Lacrosse Championships the most times is the USA. In fact, only 2 countries have ever won. It's the USA and Canada, with Australia, I think, having the most third places. Excuse me. Question 9, USA. Question 10, the only Hemsworth brother to not be a regular on Neighbours was Chris Hemsworth. He was a regular on the other one, Home and Away, but Luke and Thingy were both on Neighbours. Chris Hemsworth was on Home and Away. Question 11, Istanbul is a variant of Istanbul. Istanbul. Question 12, in Underworld's Born Slippy, the alcoholic drink referenced the most is lager, 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 but you can just put lager, just one is fine, lager. Question 13, the American sparkling water La Croix was first marketed as a direct competitor to Perrier. Perrier, I tell you what, when I was a kid I didn't like Perrier, but then I got very into it as an adult. Perrier. Question 14, the world's oldest cheddar was 40 years old. It had hidden at the back of a fridge for 40 years, 40-year-old. Question 15, pilchard is another word for sardine. Sardine. There are varying accounts over whether pilchard is a type of sardine or a sardine is a type of pilchard. I don't know if it's to do with age, but ultimately sardine is what I was after. If you put young sardine or old sardine, fine. Question 16, the 3-letter currency code of the Botswana Pula is BWP. BWP, the Botswana Pula, BWP. Question 17, the first game of which sport is recorded to have been played in Sussex? It is cricket. Cricket. First game of cricket. Anyone who follows cricket knows that Sussex is a fairly important team. Cricket. Question 18. Madame Bovary was written by Flaubert. Flaubert. Madame Bovary is Flaubert. Question 19. Question 19. The Lou Reed solo album I was looking for was Transformer. Transformer, his second solo album of many, but certainly his, I think, most famous Transformer. And question 20. Israel is set to become the first country in the world to ban the trade of animal furs, or furs is fine. Animal furs. Question 20. Let's go through those again a bit quicker. Question 1, rabbit, hare, or pika. Question 2, acidic. Question 3, BBC. Question 4, Reykjavik. Question 5, what's the story, Morning Glory? Question 6, Barry B. Benson. Question 7, Argentina. Question 8, 24-pack of beer. Question 9, the USA. Question 10, Chris Hemsworth. Question 11, Istanbul. Question 12, lager. Question 13, Perrier. Question 14, 40 years. Question 15, sardine. Question 16, BWP. Question 17, cricket. Question 18, Flaubert. Question 19, transformer. Question 20, animal furs. Let's see how you did after that. Okay, so out of a possible 20 points, Scary Elvis has got 10 in there, 9 for Cheese Frog, 11 for Fatigued Hamsters. Enjoy that. 9 for the Troublers, 10 for the Sweet Sweet Human Chocolate Mousse, 13 for La Traviata, 8 for Extremely Menacing Duolingo Owl, and 13 for Memoirs of a Well-Traveled House Mouse. Oh, Gentle Duo has been brought in. Hello, Duo. So a couple of you yet to dial in. I've not heard from Wooski is the soup of the day, or from Gay Depression Club. Have I? No. Oh, our best and happy to be spooky. Straight in there with 16 points. I think trying our best and happy to be here won last week, if I remember rightly. Could it be that they are defending their title? It looks like it to me. 11 for Gay Depression Club. Nothing. Nothing yet from Wooski, though Wooski is very possibly on the road and unable to fill out the chart. So it looks like the team to beat is trying our best and happy to be spooky. Very, very well done. Lots of chat in the chat that I'm not going to go through right now because I'm going to tell you about the picture round and then we're going to have a break. Have a look at the picture round, folks. There is a picture round. It is at tiny.cc/ftpictureround610. tiny.cc/ftpictureround610. I have given you 10 covers of famous books. Covers as in jackets, not as in bands covering the books. Imagine you just had one author rewrite a book, but like verbatim, and called it a cover. That'd be great. 10 covers of famous books. Give me the names of the books. These are all classics in one way or another. I don't need the authors. You can give me the authors if you like, but that won't help. Won't bloody help anyone. Least of all me. It'll help me. It'll hugely help me. It won't help me. It will help me. I am neutral on whether or not you put the author name. So 10 famous books. Some I think easier to get than others there. Tell me what they are. You have to the end of the quiz to do that. Folks, let's have a break. I'm going to give you a 10-minute break. Head out of this pub that I like to pretend we're in, the quiz and pandemic. Go stretch your legs, do whatever you need to do, as I put on the music car. Here it is. I'll see you at 1:15. My watch is fast. isn't it? Sorry, Claire. 2 minutes we start, folks. 3 minutes. On the 12th. There we go. Scrolling back a bit to what you were having to say. Some chat about Jane Austen. Meg was glad she never had to read Pride and Prejudice for school. She always hates books. Oh, I can relate to that. I read that at school and I hated it. It's true, there is something about being forced to read a book that really takes the joy out of it. It's funny how in those English classes, I don't think I ever read a book and I don't think a teacher ever asked me, did you like it? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you enjoy the book? Enjoy yourself. Or no, I think I read Catch-22 for school. I think I remember really enjoying that. 2 minutes till we start, folks. 2 minutes till we start. Hello 19 is off to the virtual beer garden. Very good. Very good. We'll get going in a minute, folks. Make sure that you are writing down your picture sheet answers. We'll do those during the second round. The fatigued hamsters request that we crack open a 2-4A in the comments. Are the fatigued hamsters from Canada? Is that what's going on here? Cracking open a whole 2-4 seems straight. Oh, that means taking one out, doesn't it, Felix? Not open all the cans. Fool. And that is 8:15. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to this pub quiz. Elizabeth Wallace says, a junior high teacher assigned me Animal Farm, and I scoffed, thinking it was because, yeah, I remember liking Animal Farm. I think I went down and out from that as well. All right, folks, round 2 is here. Round 2, the fun round, so-called because it is more fun. We're going to kick off question 21 with the maths question. This is the maths question. I want you to tell me, what is 17 over 9 to 2 decimal places? Question 21, what is 17 over 9 to 2 decimal places? 17 ninths to 2 dp, please. That is question 21. Question 21. 17 over 9 to 2 dp, please. Laura Feldman says that the fatigued hamsters are mostly from Canada and one from Boston. Boston City, I'm desperate to visit. I've seen the photographs, it looks beautiful. Question 21. What is 17 over 9 to 2 dp, please? That is question 21. You may need to keep working on that, or you may not, but the rest of us are going to plow on. This is question 2. Question 2, it's geography, it's islands, including the uninhabited ones. Which country has the most islands? That's question 22. Including the uninhabited ones, which country has the most islands, the largest number of islands? That is question 22. Question 22. Including uninhabited ones, which country has the most islands? Question 23 now. Question 23. This is theatre. Theatre. Which successful play by Richard Bean is an adaptation of the Italian play A Servant of Two Masters? Which successful play by Richard Bean, I'm saying Bean as in the food, or Mr. Bean, same spelling, is an adaptation of the Italian play A Servant of Two Masters? It probably has an Italian name, but it's known in English as A Servant of Two Masters. Question 23. Which Richard Bean adaptation is adapted from an Italian play called A Servant of Two Masters? That is question 23. Question 24. Question 24 is music. This is music. Which composition by Vaughan Williams, V-A-U-G-H-A-N, Williams, shares its name with a poem by George Meredith? Which composition by Vaughan Williams shares its name with a poem by George Meredith? Again, I misspelt the question and it's annoying me, so I fixed it. Which composition by Vaughan Williams shares its name with a poem by George Meredith? That is question 24. Question 25 now. Question 25 is film. This is film. That film is Blade Runner. The 25th anniversary edition of Blade Runner, which was released in 2007, is known as the what cut? The 25th anniversary edition of Blade Runner, which was released in 2007, is known as the what cut? That is question 25. Question 25. The 25th anniversary edition of Blade Runner is known as the what cut? Question 25. Question 26. Question 26 is politics. Politics. The G4 group of nations is 4 countries that are supporting each other's bids to become permanent Security Council members at the UN. Name any of them. The G4 group of nations is 4 countries that are supporting each other's bids to become permanent Security Council members at the UN. Name any of them. Question 26. Name any of the G4 countries. Question 26. The G4 group of nations is 4 countries which are supporting each other's bids to become UN Security Council permanent members. Name any of the G4 group of nations. It's question 26. Question 27. Question 27 is dogs. Dogs. The word corgi, C-O-R-G-I, comes from which language? Question 27. Corgi, as in the dog. The word corgi comes from which language? That is question 27. Question 27. The word corgi, C-O-R-G-I, comes from which language? Question 28 now. This is question 28 and it is sport. This is sport. Which combat sport is considered the national sport of Thailand? Thailand. 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 Which combat sport is considered the national sport of Thailand? Question 28. Question 28. Which combat sport is considered the national sport of Thailand? Question 29 now. Question 29. What 7-letter word beginning with the letter L is a person who makes or mends stringed instruments? What 7-letter word beginning with the letter L is a person who makes or mends stringed instruments like guitars and violins? What 7-letter word beginning with the letter L is a person who makes or mends stringed instruments? That's question 29. We're looking for a 7-letter word beginning with the letter L, and it means someone who makes or mends stringed instruments. I'm saying mends, which is a hard word to say, M-E-N-D-S. Question 30. The ancient Greek city-state, this is history, the ancient Greek city-state, Lacedaemon, Lacedaemon, is today better known by what name? The ancient Greek city-state Lacedaemon is today better known by what name? That's question 30, which means that we are halfway through this second round. Well done, everyone. 10 questions left until the end of the quiz, 3/4 of the way through, 4/5, including the picture round, I suppose. The ancient Greek city-state Lacedaemon is today better known by what name? And question 31. Question 31 is art. What was the name of Andy Warhol's studio in New York City? It had 3 locations at different times, but it always had the same name. What was the name of Andy Warhol's studio in New York City? That is question 31. Question 31. What was the name of Andy Warhol's studio in NYC? That is question 31. Question 32 now. This is question 32. It's fashion. René Lacoste, founder of the Lacoste fashion brand, was known by what nickname? Question 32. René Lacoste, founder of Lacoste, as in the tennis t-shirts, was known by what nickname? That is question 32. Question 32. René Lacoste, founder of the Lacoste fashion brand, was known by what nickname? That's question 32. Question 32. What was Lacoste's nickname? Question 33. Question 33 is pop culture. Excuse me. The character Lex Luthor first appeared in Action Comics in what decade? Thank you. The character Lex Luthor first appeared in Action Comics in what decade? That is question 33. Question 33. The character Lex Luthor first appeared in Action Comics in what decade? That is question 33. Question 34 now. This is question 34. It's words, it's phobias. Leporiphobia, L-E-P-O-R-I, phobia, is the fear of what animal commonly kept as a pet? Question 34. Leporiphobia is the fear of what animal which is commonly kept as a pet? That's question 34. Question 34. Leporiphobia is the fear of what animal? Question 34. Question 35 is money. It is currencies. Currencies. Which country's currency is the sol, S-O-L, with one sol divided into 100 centimos, C-E with an acute accent, N-T-I-M-O-S. Which country's currency is the sol, where one sol equals 100 centimos? That's question 35, which means we have 5 questions left in this quiz. You are all doing terribly well. Question 35. Which country's currency is the sol? One sol divided into 100 centimos. Home stretch, everyone. Question 36. Question 36 is science. Science. IR. I for India, R for Romania, is the chemical symbol for which element? IR is the chemical symbol for which element? That's question 36. Question 36. IR is the chemical symbol for which element? Element of the periodic table, of course. Question 36. IR is the chemical symbol for which element? Question 37. Question 37. Satoshi Nakamoto, I'll spell that in a bit, is the pseudonym of the person or group of people who developed what internet-based thing in 2008? This is your internet question. There is a person or group of people who back in 2008 developed something internet-y. What was it? They worked, or the person worked, under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. S-A-T-O-S-H-I-N-A-K-M-O-T-O. Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonym of whoever created what internet-based thing in 2008. That is question 37. Question 37. What did Satoshi Nakamoto create? Question 38. Now, question 38 is literature. Literature, very, very book-heavy quiz tonight. I hope that's all right. Question 38, literature. The Black Arrow, Prince Otto, and St. Ives, being the adventures of a French prisoner in England, are all novels by which author? The Black Arrow, Prince Otto, and St. Ives, being the adventures of a French prisoner in England, are all novels by which author? That's question 38. The Black Arrow, Prince Otto, and St. Ives, being the adventures of a French prisoner in England, are all novels by which author? Question 38, 2 questions left, folks. Question 39, here it is. Question 39 is music. Music. What was the name of the first album released in 2003 by The Darkness? Question 39, what was the first name of the first album by The Darkness? Question 39. Question 39. What was the name of the first album by Darkness, which was released in 2003? Question 39. What was the name of the first album by The Darkness? And question 40. Question 40, your final question of this quiz, is a current affairs question. The Brazilian Dr. Rodolfo Piskorski, Rodolfo, R-O-D-O-L-F-O, Piskorski, P-I-S-K-O-R-S-K-I, recently became a British citizen. In what language did he take his citizenship test? The Brazilian Dr. Rodolfo Piskorski recently became a British citizen. He had to take one of those, those kind of laughable citizenship tests that assume you have studied every king, queen of England and all that stuff. Anyway, in what language was it? The Brazilian Dr. Rodolfo Piskorski recently became a British citizen. In what language did Dr. Piskorski take his citizenship test? And that is question 40. Oh, a couple of you having trouble with the Ko-fi. Folks, if it's not going through, don't worry. It's only £2. So that's all the questions in the second round and the quiz. That was it. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night. No. I'm going to give them all to you again. Here are the questions for round 2, but a bit quicker, at a bit of a lick. Question 21, what is 17 over 9 to 2dp? Question 22, including uninhabited ones, which country has the most islands? Question 23, which successful Richard Bean play is an adaptation of the Italian play A Servant of Two Masters? Question 24, which composition by Vaughan Williams shares its name with a poem by George Meredith? You've heard. Question 25, the 25th anniversary edition of Blade Runner, released in 2007, is known as the what cut? Question 26, the G4 group of nations is 4 countries supporting each other's bids to become permanent UN Security Council members. Tell me any of them. Question 27, the word corgi, as in the dog, comes from which language? Question 28, which combat sport is considered the national sport of Thailand? Question 29, which 7-letter word beginning with the letter L is a person who makes or mends stringed instruments? Question 30, the ancient Greek city-state Lacedaemon is today better known by what name? Question 31, what was the name of Andy Warhol's studio in New York City? Question 32, René Lacoste, the founder of Lacoste, was known by what nickname? Question 33, the character of Lex Luthor first appeared in Action Comics in what decade? Question 34, leporophobia is the fear of what animal? Frequently kept as a pet. Question 35, which country's currency is the sol, with 1 sol divided into 100 centimos, or centimos? Question 36, IR is the chemical symbol for which element? Question 37, Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonym of the person or group of people who developed what internet-based thing in 2008? Question 38, The Black Arrow, Prince Otto, and St. Ives, being the adventures of a French prisoner in England, are all novels by what author? Question 39, what was the name of the first album released in 2003 by The Darkness? And question 40, the Brazilian Dr. Rodolfo Piskorski recently became a British citizen. In what language did he take his citizenship quiz? That is all the questions in the second round. Okay, folks, Matt Garner says this is, I think you mean tough quiz. Yes, second round is always harder. But that makes it more fun. So, folks, I am going to give you 10, a 9, a 8, a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, 0. Pens down, pens down, pens down. Pick up your marking pens, and here we go with the answers to round 2. The answers to round 2. Question 21, 17 over 9 to 2dp is 1.89, or if you put 1.8 recurring, where you put that little symbol over the 8, well done you. 1.89. Question 22, the country with the most islands is Sweden. Sweden, you'd think it would be Indonesia, which famously has 17,000 islands, but Sweden has 267,570 islands, of which only 984 are inhabited. Sweden. Question 23. The successful Richard Bean play, it was successful on at least 2 sides of the Atlantic, and I think that's all the sides that the Atlantic has. It's One Man, Two Governors. One Man, Two Governors was adapted from A Servant, Two Masters. Question 24. Which composition by Vaughan Williams is the famous one? It is The Lark Ascending. In fact, I think it was based on the poem by George Meredith, The Lark Ascending. The Lark Ascending. Question 25. The 25th anniversary of Blade Runner is Blade Runner, The Final Cut. Final cut. Final is the word I was looking for. Final. Question 26. The G4 group of nations are, you get the point for any of these, Brazil, Germany, India, and Japan. Brazil, Germany, India, or Japan will get you the point. Question 27. Corgi comes from Welsh. It is a Welsh word. Corgi comes from Welsh. Question 27. Question 28. The national sport of Thailand is variously called Muay Thai or Thai boxing. Muay Thai or Thai boxing. Either of those will do, although it's, from what I read, it looks like football is now becoming a little bit more popular. But still the official sport is Muay Thai and or Thai boxing. Question 29. A person who makes or mends stringed instruments is a luthier. Luthier as in lutes, L-U-T-H-I-E-R. Luthier. Question 30. Question 30. The ancient Greek city-state Lacedaemon, better known as Sparta. Sparta was actually a kind of the wider area. Lacedaemon is the city itself, and the Spartans are known as Lacedaemonides in the literature usually. Sparta. Question 31. Andy Warhol's studio in New York City was The Factory. The Factory. Question 32. René Lacoste was known as the Crocodile. The Crocodile. He's really good at tennis, and he was known as Le Crocodile. The Crocodile or Crocodile, both of those I'm happy with. Crocodile. Question 33. Lex Luthor first appeared in the 1940s. In fact, it was 1940. 1940s. Question 34. Leporophobia is the fear of rabbits. Rabbits. Question 35. 1 sol, 100 centimos. That is the currency of Peru. 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 Question 36. IR is the chemical symbol for iridium. Iridium. Question 37. Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonym of whoever it is, mystery company who we don't know, who developed Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Question 38. Question 38. The Black Arrow, Prince Otto and St. Ives being the adventures of a French prisoner in England. This last one was unfinished. Someone else finished it for him. They are all novels by Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson, question 38. Robert Louis Stevenson. Question 39. The first album by The Darkness was called Permission to Land. Permission to Land. And question 40. The Brazilian Dr. Rodolfo Piskorski took his citizenship test in Welsh, which is why it was a news story. I think he was the first, one of the first people certainly, to choose to take his British citizenship test in Welsh, because he lives in Cardiff. And that means that the answer to 2 questions is Welsh, which is exciting. I'm going to go through those again. Here they are. Question 21, 1.89. Question 22, Sweden. Question 23, One Man, Two Governors. Question 24, The Lark Ascending. Question 25, Final. Question 26, Brazil, Germany, India, or Japan. Question 27, Welsh. Question 28, Muay Thai or Thai boxing. Question 29, Luthier. Question 30, Sparta. Question 31, The Factory. Question 32, The Crocodile or Crocodile. Question 33, 1940s. Question 34, Rabbit. Question 35, Peru. Question 36, Iridium. Question 37, Bitcoin. Question 38, Robert Louis Stevenson. Question 39, Permission to Land. And question 40, Welsh. Okay. Ryan Mulgrew says, Lacedaemon is one of the first words I learned in ancient Greek for my degree, which really says a lot. Yes, I had the same thing. Dikaiopolis, Bine Toploion. All right, let's see how you did. Question 6. Let's see how you done on the answers to round 2. So 7 minutes in Devon got a very respectable 15 on them there, bringing them up to 28. Looking ahead, that looks like it might be a top score, but let's still waiting on a couple of you. 11 for Scary Hours. Trying our best and happy to be spooky. Did so well on round 1, but did also very well on round 2, but not quite so much. So bringing them only up to 28. So tying there with 7 minutes in Devon. 14 Fatigue, Hamsters, Troublers, and Sweet Sweet Human Chocolate Mousse. Very well done, all of you. 15 for La Traviata, 14 for Extremely Menacing Duolingo Owl, 13 for the House Mouse, 10 for the Gay Depression Club. Just waiting to hear from Wooski is the soup of the day. And Cheese Frog. Let us know how you did in round 2. But at the end of that, there is only one way that Cheese Frog could win. If they got 20 points there, that would bring them up to 29. And Wooski would need 18 on that. No one is getting that, so I'm going to assume that the general gettability of that round is around 13, 14, and that you might not get that. So I'm going to say, unless I see otherwise, La Traviata, 7 minutes in Devon, and Trying Our Best and Happy to be Spooky are all leading the pack on 28 points. Very well done. Very well done. Cheese Frog got 10. You put it in, but it's not shown. All right, I'll put it in for you. Cheese Frog. Okay, done. All right, folks. Let's do the answers to the picture round. Here we are. I gave you 10 books. Turns out books all like this, so you have to do a picture round in landscape mode. I spent a good minute going, do I shrink them? What do I do? You may or may not have seen there was a little bit of a theme running through them, which was that the top row were all not British or Irish, and the bottom row were all British or Irish. I don't know if that's helpful. So here we go. Picture 1, a fairly easy one there. They are painting the gate. That is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Picture 1, that is Tom Sawyer. Picture 2, trickier one, is just a woman, but a Regency dressed woman. And look, there's a short name underneath because it's Emma. Emma, you made me privately laugh talking about Pride and Prejudice. When I knew that Emma was to come, Emma Woodhouse. We've had her as an answer before, but for a different reason. Question 3, possibly the easiest one here because of the imagery of the TV show, which I assume took from this cover, I don't know. That is The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale, picture 3, The Handmaid's Tale. Picture 4 underneath, that is Magwitch surprising Pip in the graveyard. It's Great Expectations. Great Expectations, picture 4. Picture 5, maybe the trickiest one here. I don't know how well known this is internationally. I think probably fairly well known because it's the periodic table by Primo Levi. The periodic table. It's got a picture of the periodic table on it, so you would have guessed it, I suppose. Picture 6, again, I think this one's tricky because I don't know. I mean, it's very well known here. Might be less well known outside the UK. That is The Railway Children. Picture 6, The Railway Children. There was a famous adaptation with Jenny Agutter. Picture 6, The Railway Children. Picture 7, well, that's very clearly the emblem of Les Miserables, and it is indeed Les Miserables, the Victor Hugo book. Les Miserables. Picture 8, picture 8. You know, a long time ago, I've been wanting to do this picture round for a long time. And what I wanted to do was to just give you 10 blank penguin books and make you guess them. But that's impossible, so I gave you a variation on that. The clue was that the author has a K in the name. That author is Bram Stoker, and that book is Dracula. Dracula. Picture 8, Dracula. Picture 9. Picture 9, that's Don Quixote. Don Quixote. Picture 9, Don Quixote. I think the only one of these to give us a word in the English language. Do people say Draculine? They don't, do they? But we do say quixotic. And picture 10, yeah, really tricky this one. Well done if you got it. That is Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights, you can see a sort of impressionistic take on the moors as two figures pick their way across it. That is Wuthering Heights. Let me go through those again for you. Picture 1, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Picture 2, Emma. Picture 3, The Handmaid's Tale. Picture 4, Great Expectations. Picture 5, The Periodic Table. Picture 6, The Railway Children. Picture 7, Les Miserables. Picture 8, Dracula. Picture 9, Don Quixote. And picture 10, Wuthering Heights. So let's see how you did. 8 points there for 7 Minutes of Devon, bringing them up to 36. Anyone? Gay Depression Club got a full 10. Very well done, Gay Depression Club, bringing them straight up to 31. Into looking through for joint 4th place. Very nice recovery. 8 points for Fatigued Hamsters. Very good. Bringing you up to 33. 33 also for Trying Our Best and Happy to Be Spooky. But unless I see anything, no, Wooski is the spook of the day, cannot win because they would only go up to 35, which means that our winners tonight, congratulations, the Devon team. 7 Minutes in Devon. Big round of applause for the Devon team, who win with 36 out of 50 points. Beautifully done with a very lovely 8 points on the picture round. Well, well done. But that is not all. I also I owe you a best team name. And I'm going to give the best team name to Extremely Menacing Duolingo Owl. Partly because it's a good name, partly because it's a good typeface, and partly because you gave me a picture of the Duolingo Owl. You win best team name. Very well done. So that's it, folks. Very well done. Congratulations, Devon team. Congratulations, all of you. Congratulations, Duolingo Owl, and indeed the team named after the Duolingo Owl. I'm off to do my Duolingo. And I will be back here next week as ever. See you on the 13th. 13th? the spookiest day of October, the 13th. See you then. Bye, folks.